The mooning of the werewolf. No, that's not right. The moon of the wolf. No. The moon of the werewolf. Dear listeners, do you know what mooning is? No, I'm not referring to the state of being lost in a daydream with your head in the clouds and your mind absorbed in building castles in the air. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. No, what I'm talking about is dropping your pants and flashing your bare buttocks, your bare butt, at complete strangers in order to both startle and insult them, with the best moments of shock and awe being accomplished by mooning out the window of a speeding car. We were cruising one night in my buddy's car. Let me rephrase that. My buddy's parents' car. An army green Rambler. A Rambler. This was considered a small car back in the day. In other words, it was twice the size of most modern cars and could sit half a dozen fools comfortably. We called it the Moonmobile, or the Moon Machine, the lunar module. Our crew consisted of 4 astronauts, and we'd all taken a turn, turning a cheeky cheek towards our unsuspecting victims. But our prime mooner was Fast Eddie, and after a while, he became our exclusive mooner, the Prime Moonister of Canada. Fact is, Fast Eddie wasn't all that swift, but being the nice guys we were, we figured that if he enjoyed mooning so much, we'd let him carry on. Now, among the local characters in our town was a guy we called Balloonhead, as he had a big, round, bald head that reminded you of a balloon. Nobody knew his real name or where he came from. Someplace in Eastern Europe was my guess. Transylvania or Moldavia. The one thing we did know about him was that we didn't like him, and he didn't seem to like us. Balloonhead lived in a rundown bungalow on one of the meaner streets, alone. Early in the evening of a wet and overcast day, we found ourselves rambling past his house, while Balloonhead stood on his front lawn, staring up at the sky. This was Fast Eddie's cue to spring into action, and as we came to a stop, he turned, dropped his drawers, and stuck his bum out the window. The effect was instantaneous. Balloonhead's jaw dropped and his mouth gaped open in surprise. We idled for about 30 seconds as he stood, frozen with astonishment. But then he began to sputter, and we took off. 10 out of 10, man. That was a 10 out of 10. Fast Eddie fell back laughing, and we all had to admit that as a drive-by mooning, it would be hard to top, or bottom. In any case, we didn't try and behaved ourselves for the rest of the... Yeah, we did. We behaved. Well, maybe some trash talk, but no, we behaved ourselves for the rest of the evening until we passed Balloonhead's house around 11 o'clock, and of course, Fast Eddie had to moon the place even though all the lights were out, and Balloony was no doubt in bed, or asleep in his coffin. The night had cleared since our last visit, and another moon, round and yellow, hung in the sky, and Eddie was letting it all hang out, when around the side of the house a huge gray wolf appeared, running on 2 feet, its hind feet, like it was human. It seemed to stand about 8 feet tall, and was moving so fast it caught up to the car in just a few seconds. Fast Eddie was still fumbling with his pants when Andre, who was driving, stopped the car. Stopped it dead. "What you doing, man? Keep going," Eddie screamed. "I can't," Andre said quietly. "I've got a red light." And then Eddie screamed again, except this time he said, "It's got me! It's got me! It's biting me in the ass!" Andre floored it, red light or no, while Fast Eddie collapsed into the back seat, showering me and Andre and the fourth guy, Dave, with blood and bits of bum and underwear. At the hospital, it took over 40 stitches to close up all the bite and claw marks to Eddie's rear end. We told them that he'd been attacked by a feral dog, but we could tell they didn't believe us. And when Eddie tried to tell him he'd been bitten by a werewolf, they said he was obviously delirious or on something. So we all shut up. Fast Eddie had trouble sitting for a time and retired from mooning. We all did. We'd run into Balloonhead from time to time, and he would always stare at us with this smirk on his face. But was he the werewolf? Was it a werewolf? Your guess is as good as mine. But something bit Eddie's butt. A few years after these events had taken place, I ran into Eddie one night in a bar and asked him if he still suffered any ill effects from the attack. "Damn right I do," he said. "Every time there's a full moon, great clumps of thick black fur break out all over my butt. I have to shave it all off and, well, he lowered his voice and then said, "I'm also beginning to grow a tail." Ah, dear listeners, but that's a tale for another time. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, Werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. Till midnight. Cheers. Or perhaps I should try a howl. Hey, that wasn't bad.